Hi Aries, this is going to be your May 2021 forecast using the tarot deck. I will also use an oracle deck to channel further guidance for your sign, and as well as that I use astrology in these videos. So stay tuned to see what's in store for you for your month ahead. Let's take it back though and look at some past energies for Aries first. What's been going on with Aries? Let's cast our mind back to March. March. And these are the themes that have been going on for Aries. Oh, so we have Two of Wands, which is actually Mars and Aries energy coming through straight away. Seven of Swords and the Lovers card. Oh, okay. So leading in to April into May, you had a decision to make, Aries. Maybe some of you are still weighing it up currently. We'll go deeper into these cards. Let me just pull some out for the present energies. Yeah, it seems like you were avoiding people knowing every detail of this decision you were making too. But ultimately, you're landing on what's going to make you feel the freest, I'm seeing, Aries. Let's see what's coming up presently around you now as you watch this video. And remember, Aries, the time on these readings is fluid. So whenever you catch this reading, just take what resonates with you then and leave the rest. Present, what's going on around Aries right now? So what I'll do, Aries, is I'll pull cards to begin with and then we'll go deeper into them. So the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands, two eights, thinking about synchronizations, Hanged One. There looks like there could be movement around job and work and relocation coming up for you presently, Aries. Okay, and we do have some major arcana cards here right away, but I do see change this month in May for Aries with the momentum here of the Eight of Wands. Now, finally, let's see what we have got coming up for end of May into June. Now we're looking into the future May going into June for Aries. What can they expect? May looks like it's going to be non-stop until it really plateaus in a way. Let's see what we've got coming up. Four of Pentacles. That's when it stops. That's when we stabilize and contain. The Fool card. And then we have the Queen of Wands, your energy, Aries. This is cardinal fire with the Queen of Wands. So we have you feeling really empowered and, you know, just basically sitting on your throne by the end of May going into June. So this looks like it's going to be a nice reading. Let's take it back and see what's been going on. The Two of Wands, that's coming up in your recent past. So this could have been April, this could have been March 2021, but there was a decision to be made. I think some of you actually are still thinking things through. It's some sort of a relocation. Should I stay here? Should I go elsewhere? Should I stay in this job? Should I go elsewhere? Should I move over to these beautiful, warm climate, or should I stay? So there has been a decision, and you really didn't want everybody knowing what was going on during your decision-making process. Seven of Swords, it was like, you know, you were sort of doing this alone and kind of acting alone, working things through in your mind, or at least keeping things from the people that I guess you needed to talk to or break this news to, Aries. The Lovers card, we're going to clear this up. This could represent something that's come into your life, Aries, and you really just feel so passionate about it, like a cause, an inspiration, something that when you look in the mirror you feel like proud of the reflection that's coming back at you, Aries, and you do feel very you feel like authentically you, and that's been building March into through April, and we can see now how it rolls into the current month, May. Right, so presently around us, Aries, we have the Eight of Pentacles, very focused energy, focused on something. Eight of Wands, focused on making something happen, on movement, on getting something together and propelling something forward is this energy. The Eights in Tarot are all about transformation, actually, and a catalyst for change comes up when the Eights come up in Tarot, and in that way some things are never the same as after the action we take in the Eights. We've changed, and our external and our internal have changed. So this is what brings me to this Hanged One card. So this is, and I will show you all of these cards laid out just in a moment, Aries, and we'll clarify, but the Hanged One is telling me, like, you're gaining some new perspective at the moment. You're kind of this plateauing. There seems like towards the end of May, there seems like things are going to steady out. So all month we have movement in the month of May. And then by the end of the month, it kind of like, I don't know, it feels like we're stuck in the mud a little bit on something. And that leads me into coming into late May into June with this Four of Pentacles. It's like, this is very much steady to me. There's not much movement here, and we're holding on to something. Holding on to the past is coming up for me a lot by the end of the month, because I have the Fool card looking at right at the Four of Pentacles, being like, are you going to dwell on this forever, Aries? Are you going to get bogged down by holding on so tightly to this, like this person here in the card holding on to this? And for some, I do see this relocation and move away that was like being decided kind of come to fruition. So there had been some sort of a decision to depart or to stay or to go or to change something. And I think by that might have been March, April, and I do think by the end of May into June, you're now seeing the stability of that decision. It's grounding now in the Four of Pentacles, and it's kind of easing off a bit, all of the movement, and it's becoming more stable. But the Fool card is there to remind you, like Aries, there's going to be something that is still really itchy feet kind of a feeling, even though you're like steadying things down. Something else looks like, we'll clear this Fool card up, but it looks like something else that comes along is going to really grab your attention, and really make you feel, continuing to feel just like you. So there's this real sense of like authenticity in this reading for me, Aries. For some, love has come into your life, and we will clear this up with the Lovers card. And if you have met somebody March in through April, you really haven't really been willing to share this person with everybody or share the meeting with everybody yet. Could have been somebody through work or something you had been really focused on. But ultimately, this Lovers card, if it is a person and you really just feel very aligned to them, that's a nice indication that you're probably on the right track, Aries. Why? Oh, right, on the right track. Chariot at the bottom of the deck. Yep, you're on the right track with something. I kind of get the sense that there had been like a need to level up in Aries' life, and it's kind of progressing in that way now. You can feel that energetically. Let's look at these cards now together. Pulling from the Kuan Yin, Chinese Goddess of Compassion Oracle. And I like to take these messages as a message from your most authentic self, or most compassionate authentic self to you now, Aries. What would they say about the journey you're on? So today, Aries, number 35, the Book of Changes. Well, I really do think this could be relevant to your month of May, because that's when I do see these changes kind of coming up for you really in this reading. So number 35, that number may be relevant to you today, but I will read you from this oracle what it says about the Book of Changes. It says, just like a beautiful but unusual melody, the divine plan is unfolding through your life, although it isn't always predictable. Enter the Fool card, Uranian energy. Kuan Yin is guiding you in the right direction. Even though you do not fully understand what is happening in your life right now, allow Kuan Yin to bless you with the trust in the unfoldment of your own divine path. The Book of Change is always at play, helping us find your way. You are just taking a smarter route to your destination. Looks like you're taking a speedy route. The kind of the message of like cutting through the mountain instead of going around it is coming up for me with this imagery on this card. This kind of goes on to say that sometimes situations or circumstances occur that seem to take us away from our desired goal, or cause to give us a question whether we need to take matters into our own hands to achieve our desired manifestation. Even if we do not understand why something is happening the way it is right now, with patience, the Hanged One, and experience, the wisdom, the Hanged One, and helpfulness of a situation is often revealed, and we can marvel at how we were assisted through the workings of a higher intelligence that we did not understand at that time. Okay, cool. So you're just kind of like maybe being asked, like in the Hanged One, to unfortunately just trust in the circumstances and the timing of how things are unfolding around you now, Aries. When you reach this plateau in the month of March, the month of May 2020, this is present for after like a spurt of movement and growth and work going well and a relocation maybe, or just something that you've been focused on, then you do seem to be reaching a plateau indicated here where things, like I said, kind of ground down again. Let's pull some more cards from the tarot deck. Before I do, I'll just touch on some of the astrology. I like to read the astrology from the rising sign position, so this is going to be a little bit more tailored towards Aries rising, this message. But likewise, Aries, if you know your rising sign, check out that video too, because there will be messages like this for you in that, for your rising sign. Aries rising, we have got Cancer sits in your fourth house of home, family and living situation, and in the month of May, Mars will be transiting for 6 weeks from April 24th through Aries rising's fourth house of home, family, living situation. And this is just kind of indicating that there could be heightened focus around that. And I do really see relocation and moving coming up for Aries in May. I see a lot of focus and maybe work and effort having to be put in. Mars, where Mars is at any time in our birth chart, it's where our focus is. So focus of the Eight of Pentacles. Well, for Aries rising, that's going to be on the home, living and family situation for the month of May. Okay, so whatever that means to you. What else have we got going on? We just had a full moon on the 26th of April in the sign of Scorpio. So what I'm thinking is for Aries rising, that might have been a time where you were like kind of coming up to face, I have at this bottom of the deck another card here, Five of Cups. Some of you might have been coming up to face feelings of loss, mourning, grief, things that you were transforming through. Things that maybe you were disappointed in, Aries rising, that could have come up for kind of letting go now and kind of coming around the corner with that and being liberated almost from any feelings of loss or regret or disappointment that you had kind of been feeling. That might have been what came up for that during that full moon. All right, let's go. Let's keep going then. I'll use another deck and I'll stick with this one. I've been enjoying this one. I'm going to pull some more cards now. Let's clear up this first row. Two of Wands, Seven of Swords, and the Lovers card for Aries. What does Aries need to know further about this? Okay, yeah. Let me just grab this card. Is at the bottom of the deck earlier we have the Death card, and it's coming out with another message. So this is definitely telling me that the transformation has been underway. Scorpio rules this card, Death card, and that was the moon that I was talking about just there. So we had our full moon in Scorpio yesterday as I'm recording this, but it was April 26th. That might have really been very profound for you, Aries. It would have really been kind of energetically a time where you are really like things might have come up from under the surface, to kind of been killed away and to be said, I'm ready to kind of depart from this. I'm ready to transform, basically the energy of death and rebirth here with this card. For some of you, this decision that you made in the Two of Wands, which you've kind of just been working out, it was very exciting for you to come for this even opportunity to come around. Why there was some sort of a hesitancy, Scorpio does rule secrecy too, and the Seven of Swords might have just been telling you that, you were just not ready to share everything about it. The full moon, however, has a illuminating effect, and when it can shine a light on things that we are keeping hidden. You might have found that, Aries, that around the 26th of April, things that you were keeping to yourself or maybe secret were starting to kind of unravel. Alternatively, people that were maybe keeping secrets from you or things that were not transparent began to be illuminated in your life, and you could see things more clearly. The Hermit, okay, yep. So you really were looking at something quite intensely, quite like you were really looking and putting under a microscope. I even see this person researching on a laptop, like keenly focused on something. But what was that something? What I think that focus, Aries, for a lot of you was, what am I ending in life right now? What am I finishing up to be reborn again and to start? Transformation. Death is just a transformation. That's really all it is in every sense. Okay, so let's keep going then. The Hermit and the Death card is just saying that you really have been going through a time of soul searching and figuring out what it is that you need to end, basically, rather than begin, okay? Because we have the new beginnings coming up with the Fool card towards the June mark. And this is what happens, right? This is the cycle. Things come to an end, new beginnings take part, and in between that, we have some life kind of unfolding here by the looks of things. Okay, so let's keep going then. Eight of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, and the Hanged One. Let's see what's going on for May 2021. Let's get some more messages for Aries. It looks like it's busy, busy, busy until it's absolutely not. So there seems to be a contrast here. Let's see what that's all about. The Page of Swords is here with the Ace of Cups in reverse right now. This halt in movement seems to occur after a conversation that just really doesn't go great, I gotta say. This conversation seems to upset somebody, maybe even somebody that you care about a lot, respect, love, feel very deeply for. This could come from, and maybe the secrecy that had kind of been, or lack of transparency on someone's part, maybe yours, Aries. Maybe that's where this kind of upset comes into play, because you hadn't been honest about your intentions, your decisions to maybe leave somebody. So you hadn't fully been transparent about that. But I can understand careful planning and, you know, working behind the scenes until you're very sure of your decision. That's okay too. That's using discernment in the Seven of Swords. And ultimately, Aries, you've had a very much a yearning to be feeling more free. And the Lover's card does represent freedom. Yes, it looks like we're joining forces with another, so we're not totally free. But the Lovers is the energy of that person, you know, not inhibiting on our freedom at all, and, you know, very liberating relationship with yourself or with another. So I do understand that desire to keep things secret or quieter, or not even more underhanded, maybe, Aries, for you, until you know what it is that you're going to do. But this does look like this could cause some people, ruffle some feathers in the month of May. Be mindful of that. If anything, if it's not to do with this situation in the past and it's something new, you can mitigate the upset that could be indicated when this Ace of Cups of happiness and love and friendship reverses. We can mitigate this slightly because the Page of Swords warns us about our tone. For me, it can be very snippy, very condescending, or it can be just downright nasty. So we can definitely mitigate the fallout that's potential for the month. Oh, and guess what? Mercury goes retrograde this month, planet of communication. And guess what, Aries rising? It's happening in Gemini, your third house of communication. Oh, aha. Watch out. In particular, Aries rising, this miscommunication could manifest in the third house in Gemini. That rules over aunts and uncles and cousins and siblings and your neighborhood. So that could be where this miscommunication or conflict lies. The third house also represents the internet, communication on the internet. So really be careful of getting in any spats like that with anyone online, or anyone who fits the bill of a third house person, like a neighbor or a sibling or an aunt or an uncle, kind of distant family. which could all be intertwined, right, to this kind of fourth house home and living situation that I talked about for Aries rising. We have Mars transiting through Cancer there, and that's where the focus will be. So for some, this whole potential for a conflict like that or miscommunication, you ruffling some feathers, could all be intertwined. I'm thinking for some. Cool, let's keep going. Four of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Queen of Wands. It looks like this is a nice row in the sense it's ending with you, Queen of Wands, Aries, being very much sitting in their throne, maybe even with their little cat. Okay. She's kind of like the witchy queen. She's kind of like very much a boss, like a leader. Everybody turns and looks at her when she walks into a party. Sexy, charismatic. Awesome. Let's keep going. Four of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Queen of Wands. The popular queen, that bitch. Whatever the potential conflict, and it won't be like that for everybody, it'll be just energy moving, like heightened and more quickly to and fro of words, right? But some are going to be upsetting. The Hanged One tells me that you're going to gain a lot of perspective in the month of May after all this movement and after all your focus. You're going to have a whole new perspective that's going to be really valuable. Things will change. Yeah, because eights are about transformation and Death card is about transformation. So things are never going to be the same after this, is the message I'm getting, Aries, for your month in May. Cool. Two of Swords, Page of Wands. So the person that or people that you had the conversation with in the month of May, it looks like there is some sort of a severing of communication there. Both of my pages, my communicators, are turning and facing away from each other now. One is very much looking forward into the future and what's next to come. And the other is kind of, you know, avoiding thinking about the harshness of the situation is the relationship I'm seeing there. So I think one is more kind of avoidant and the other is just doesn't care. Not that they're attached, they just don't care. The Two of Swords. Okay, so the Two of Swords represents some sort of which way should I go and which way should I take this? If it's still related to this communication that we have here, this is saying like we have one person on one side of the communication or the altercation, and what I put this to your circumstances, whoever these two people represent, you and the other, and then the other person, and then there seems to be some sort of a decision as to which side is right. And for some, you might be mediating a situation, and for some this is related to the family situation, that you're kind of mediating a situation here, where, let me see. So this is going back to my kind of my third house and fourth house activity, especially for Aries rising. This could show up where you're mediating a situation and you have to hear both sides of the stories, and both of these pages or both of these people they represent are at this deadlock, like this image here on the Two of Swords. So yeah, looks like there's going to have to be a decision now basically on, do I have to get up and go again? Do I have to take a chance on something again? Do I have to rush into something again? I kind of just want to sit, and you're kind of thinking like, I just want to sit and kind of get myself centered again and ground myself a bit. That might be wise, because it does look like there is going to be an opportunity that comes up for you at the end of May, beginning of June, that feels slightly like a gamble or a risk, and I even think, like, look at this cityscape behind all of these cards. It's very similar. I think it's meant to be similar. That's why they've used the same color. So this kind of really, for some, there's been relocation energy, maybe relocating to a more of a city looking place compared to where you are now, or whatever that kind of means for you. But there is definitely movement. For some, it could be even to the water, okay? For some, the movement away from the water is what's caused an upset. That message will just hopefully sit with some people. But that's really what I've got for you, more or less, Aries. Book of Changes, telling you that even when there might be disruptions on the path that you're on now, they might seem annoying at the time, but I bet when the dust settles and when you do finally get to sit in your throne, in your power, in your kind of just in your confidence and empowerment, you'll kind of come to see as to why, oh, that's why this detour happened, or that's why I rerouted at this point. I gained a lot of knowledge and wisdom. I believe our oracle touched on that as well. Well, Aries, I hope you enjoyed your reading today. I'm going to have a love and relationship spread for you out next. But if you're watching this on YouTube today, please feel free to hit share, like, and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on the next video. Bye.